Hello and welcome back. Today, I'm gonna do a little more engraving. These gravers are crazy long. So, I have some materials to make my own, but for this video, I think I'm just going to break this in half and then grind this down, and then I'll have two gravers just like this. So that's where I'm gonna start. And it's gonna be a little sketchy trying to break this, but I'm just gonna kind of smash it, see what happens. I'm sure there are better ways to do this. You know, I do have an angle grinder, and I was thinking of using that, and it probably would be the thing to use, if I'm being honest, but it would take too much setup. Someone else knows how these things are supposed to work. This keeps unlocking. I don't know, got it to work upside down. So, this is high-speed steel, very fragile. I'm hoping it breaks right there, and then I can just grind a little notch, and I think that'll be a good size for the graver bit. I don't really know if that's gonna work. Wear safety glasses. Actually, don't do this. I don't know why I'm saying wear safety glasses. Don't do this. Just go for it. God darn it. Well, don't worry. I unsuccessfully broke it, and I did successfully break off the tip. So that's a pain. And I guess we're going with plan 2, which is just make my own gravers. So option 2, a little bit more involved. I have some 1095 steel here, and I'm just going to have to use the angle grinder, and I'm going to cut out a few strips, and we're going to grind those into different gravers. So I believe the graver that I see most often, I believe, is a 45-degree graver. It's either 40 or 90. I'm almost positive it's a 45-degree. So we're gonna go with 45-degree because Googling takes too long. And since this is 1095, it is relatively easy to heat treat. But let's go ahead and, I don't know, just start cutting, I guess. So I have my angle grinder here, the broken cutoff wheel. I have some more cutoff wheels. So I'm going to replace that, and then we will get to cutting. Oh my goodness, it's so cold in here. I gotta figure something out about that, because I'm not gonna be able to keep doing work in here all winter long if it's this cold. Oh. What we're left with is this. So I was planning on cutting out a bunch of these blanks, but it was throwing way too many sparks, and I really want to try to figure out a better way, or make a sawhorse so I can do it outside, because I really don't want to be throwing that many sparks inside. When I heat treat this, I'm going to be using the torch outside as well. But now I'm going to grind it down to the size I believe it should be, or at least the size I want it to be. I'm gonna use a belt sander for that. So I whittled this down I guess, ground it down quite a bit. I have a jar of water here. I'm going to be dipping it in as I grind it down. So if you're not totally sure what I'm doing, I guess I should explain it a little bit more. So this is the piece that I'm making right now, and this is the progress so far. I need to, you know, if you watch the previous video, I need to make this part smaller, significantly smaller, so that it'll fit inside my graver handle. So this side has to get about, I would say, half this width. And then I want to make sure that it's still square with the graver tip, although I'm not really sure that matters. But I need the graver tip to be squared off as well. I think. Yeah, it definitely has to. Because I'm going to try to take advantage of, instead of having to cut the angle in myself, which wouldn't really make sense, just using this angle and trying to show that up to 45, maybe leave it at 90. Maybe I'll leave it at 90. I don't know. We'll see. So I think we got it down to the right size. I don't really know. No. So I think we did. We got to cut this down just a little bit so it'll fit in the graver. And then we're going to have to cut this face. And these are at 90 right now, so I'd like to make these 45 degree. So I've ground this end down so that'll fit in the graver. And that's the sharp point, which means that's going to be the cutting edge. So I'm going to grind just the front part of these down to 45, and then we're going to cut a bevel. So I think this is one of those things where the more I mess with it, the worse it's going to get. That is the angle I was looking for. So I'm going to now cut a bevel in that. Maybe another 45 degree. And then we're going to sharpen it or harden it and test it out. So it's too bright to see this thing get cherry red, so I have no idea how I'm gonna tell, but I'm just gonna have faith. I think that's as red as it's gonna get. See the end result. Graver is hardened. And guess I should Google if I have to temper it. Nah, we're gonna say no temper. I'm going to try to hone this. I'm gonna use the sandpaper And we're just gonna polish up that edge and go from there. So similar to the last video, just gonna be using the sandpaper and the ceramic tiles just for a nice flat surface. It is polished up, just focused on the very edge because it's going to be cutting. Let's get this set up in the engraver and see what we can do. Thank you so much for watching. I would say that was a success on the graver's part and room for improvement on my actual engraving skills. I was just going on some aluminum angle iron I got at Home Depot because it's dirt cheap and really soft. And I don't know if that's good or bad in terms of learning, but it's cheap and I can do it. Stay tuned for the next video where I make myself some fuzzy moccasins because I am freezing in this garage and I won't be able to continue to work in here if I don't figure out a way to stay warm. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.